Do you think this is the year?
I think it's time. I think it's past time. Now, I heard the governor speaking earlier this week, and he said he got a question from the audience about what was the legislature going to do on school choice. Mm-hmm. And he said, if you're asking me to prognosticate on what the Mississippi legislature might do on anything, I'd be better off, going to the casino. But I don't know. I think the votes are there in the House. I think, and we passed some what I called baby steps last year that didn't see the light in the Senate, and that's fine. They've got their politics and their reasons, and those guys and girls were elected just like my House members. So I'm not down on them because they're not for education freedom or school choice or whatever you want to call it. That's their business, and they'll have to answer for their politics. And I've got enough to run my end of the building without pontificating on that. Here's what I know. More and more Mississippians are demanding some form of choice. We had hearings at the Capitol yesterday on one of our watershed lakes up in North Mississippi, as you're probably aware. The dam is breached and it's messed up. Mm-hmm. And the worry is last year it flooded thousands of acres and that water stayed out all winter, and everybody's worried about all the consequences surrounding that broken dam. Why don't people just move? If they're worried about the water, why don't they just move? Because that's the solution you give me when I say, what about these folks who are trapped in this failing school district? What the opponents to school choice says, why don't they just move? Well, why don't these flooding victims, why don't they just pick up and move, Richard? And that's the answer I get when I say, what do we do about these kids in these failing districts? Or what do we do for these parents who the local school district isn't best for their child? But they're taxpayers. They're paying their taxes. So I come at it from, I just think it's best for parents to make that decision about their kid. And everything that falls after that, yes, there are factors. There are factors like, we don't want to do anything that undermines the good public schools in our state. Mm-hmm. But I'm not here to prop up the bad ones. You're not going to hear me say, I'm worried about this chronically failing school district. If we have school choice, they're probably going to lose some students because parents are for anything but that for their kid. And a lot of people that tell me, they just need to move, they wouldn't send their kid into those schools. And the answer is not money. We're fully funding them. And look at the underperforming schools. Now, somebody says, well, why are you doing this? And they might cite your school district in Oxford or Tupelo or all the great ones that we have. This will have no effect on those school districts. And